one of the pilots kind of turns and says, okay, we're about 10 minutes out from, coming over the mountain, visual contact. Where do you want us to actually set this thing down?
As close to the door as you can get it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that there's probably a place near the front.
Do they have a front desk?
Do they have a front gate, or is this going to be complicated?
Well, I don't know. We've never been there.
Try to find a thing that looks like a front gate and put down near that.
As you guys come over the mountain range, you see that this fortress Citadel thing, it looks almost kind of like a Pueblo village carved into these cliffs, except instead of like adobe clay, it's like dark, like almost, just kind of just very dark stone. And there's like 4 kind of primary cliff tiers. The front gate is down here facing into the desert. And so your airship is going to land outside of the front gate here.
Okay, I'll put the bottom of the A to be the back of it.
And I'm going to just kind of have jaggedness here to indicate that, like, this is kind of the, if you went over that, that would be the ridge, if you will.
Okay.
So, water that falls on this side of the mountain goes into the desert. Water that falls on that side goes to the sea.
Yeah, and just as a last follow-up question about what this airship can do, if we did need to tie a bunch of people to the sides for a few minutes while under heavy fire, can it still take off?
I mean, if you guys dump all that cargo you had, yeah, we should be, I mean, we're waiting.
When I say a bunch of people, I mean like 80 of them.
Like, literally on ropes?
I'm assuming that we ain't going to have time to actually put them on the airship. Also, I don't think they're going to fit, so...
Okay, so the pilot kind of like pulls out a sketch pad. He's like, okay, if each person's about 200 pounds and there's 80 of them, that's about 16,000 extra pounds. Yeah, we can easily do that. That's fine.
Okay.
So, quick question. When you had him set down the airship, or you said something about the orientation?
Oh, I put the base of it so the hatch is that way.
The hatch is facing...
The most
This way.
convenient way for us to run into the thing.
Okay, so the huge picture of Sammy is facing the front.
Right down in front of the gate.
There is a lone guy with a crossbow standing right here.
Rex, I'm just going to make this point. Technically, this is your job, so I'm going to let you do the talking here.
I was going to say I should probably do the talking because I'm actually good at talking instead of blowing things up. When it comes to blowing things up, I think that's what he should do.
Yes, but see, I've known you longer than I've known him, and if anyone's going to take the blame for when this inevitably goes horrifically wrong, I kind of want him to take the fall. Also, he'll survive taking the blame from them as well, technically.
I am very handsome.
There you go.
Where are the 4 duffel bags?
I have the first trapped one she gave me in my right hand.
Okay.
I've got the one that ain't trapped in my left hand.
Okay.
I got the other 2 behind me.
Like they're strapped to your back? You're not splitting them between you?
Yeah, we'll go with that. They are strapped to my back.
So let's lower the gate and I'm going to come up and talk to the guy.
Okay.
So I have, on me a bunch of weapons.
Yeah.
Somewhat inconspicuously, but it's a show that we mean business. We're here to make a deal. Hello, my name is Octavio, and I am here for the hostage negotiation.
The guy kind of looks at the airship and he sees all the colors and the flags, and he's like, hostage negotiation. I'm sorry, Mr. Octavio. I don't really know a lot about that. But I'm sure if you go to the police station, I think that there are people there who negotiate for hostages in hostagey situations. So yeah, I mean, you guys kind of have a lot of weapons. What's going on with that?
Well, we're here to rescue the puppets makers. We were told that they were being held captive in this building. Have you heard anything about this?
Rescue, well, that would probably, require an assault on the police station. But, it's a relatively minor charge they're being held on. I mean, if somebody just paid their bail, I think it'd probably be okay.
Can I speak with your father?
My dad? Yeah. So he kind of looks.
Ricky is visibly rubbing his temple. He has set down one of the bags and is just rubbing his temple.
He's just kind of like, no, I don't really have a dad. He kind of died in the thing with the child labor, whatnot with Rome. But we're big fans of Rome here. We're municipal. We're a city. We're a township.
Rex, I'm going to suggest we just put most of the weapons back on the ship and go talk to the police, because I get the distinct feeling that...
What are your laws regarding concealed carry here?
Oh, well, this is a frontier town, so, I mean, people just pretty much just carry their weapons, as long as you got a good reason, nobody's going to give you too much trouble. I mean, and if you look out there's a lot of good reasons, and, it's like there's kind of a crossbow scorpion kind of coming over a dune, and he kind of, like, looks at it, pulls out his own crossbow. He fires a warning shot at it, and it skitters off.
Right, we're going to let you get back to your job, I think, and head on inside.
Could you give us directions to the police station?
Oh, yeah, sure. It's, so the way it works, we got kind of these windy zigzag stairs back from when this used to be, a warlord citadel and all. So, there's some stairs over here, and then you go up these stairs here, and then, like, way up on the third tier, there's the police station.
Ricky just looks at the two duffel bags, kind of looks over his shoulder, sighs, starts walking.
Okay, I guess we all walk in.
As you guys enter kind of the front gate, you see that this clearly was a fortress until recently. There's a lot of newly planted trees. There are a variety of shops and small offices and things like that. Kat, can you, or actually, can everybody roll a perception check real quick?
20.
Okay. Kat, you notice that the small trees that have been planted are clearly not going to survive being transplanted. Like, they've been put there in the last 3 or 4 days, and they're probably going to make it about a week and a half at most. Like, somebody went to the nearest forest and brought back whatever saplings they could pull out of the ground and just shoved them in there and put some dirt on them. Or rolled the second highest.
Yeah, I rolled a 17.
Oh, you rolled a 17. Okay.
I had a 12, but it becomes a 17.
So, you notice that although some of the various shops or like small residences or whatever that are carved into the stone, or like legitimately carved into the stone, and people are kind of moving in and out of them, some of them seem to be, they've got kind of like a wooden facade, and the windows on on a lot of the areas that have wooden facades have like curtains in them, and you can't see anything through them. Some of these facades have signs that say things like post office or library.
This is by far the stupidest thing I think we've ever had to deal with.
Those poor trees.
I'm mostly just trying to figure out why they thought library had 5 R's.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like a lot of the signage is actually poorly spelled. You didn't roll high enough for me to volunteer that information.
I surmised it.
Some of the facades,
Or as they might call them there, facades.
yeah, some of the facades as you walk past them. Well, one of your bags kind of lightly brushes it, and there's some paint goes onto the bag that's on your left back, like the one on your back. Just a bit of white paint.
This is gonna be dumb. Let's just go to what I assume is gonna probably be the Palais Departement.
You guys proceed unhindered. A lot of people are looking at you. You notice that from up here, you have a really good view of your airship, which means that everyone on all 4 levels has a really good view of your airship. And they're all kind of like looking at it, looking at you, kind of whispering to each other. You know, just kind
I smile winningly and wave.
Everyone just sees that and they smile and they wave back. They're just so happy to see you. You reach the police station with, once again, just people are, dragging carts of lumber and paint, and the bakery has all the freshest smells of baked bread coming out of it, and everyone's in a great mood.
Okay.
Right, let's get this. Let's just go in.
When you go in, it is pretty much a basic police lockup type thing, where there's just one kind of desk where the sheriff sits, another kind of desk where the deputy sits, and just this really deeply carved into the mountain, like clearly was a dungeon that had manacles only recently removed, just giant cage. Not like giant manacles, but like a cage where you could keep like a whole bunch of slaves if you were into that sort of thing, or if you captured.
Is it full of people right now?
It is indeed full of people right now. So the sheriff stands up. He's like, "Hey, I'm Sheriff Monty. What can I do for you folks?"
I understand that there's someone here that needs to be bailed. A lot of someone's here who need to have their bail paid.
Oh, really? That's what you're here about? Oh, okay. Well, the bail was set at $2 million initially because they were initially charged with not having proper signage or fire escapes from their cave, which is within the new city limits. We're municipal now, and so we went and we tried to talk to them about paying some fines and getting that fixed, and they refused to pay the fines. So then we attempted to arrest them. They resisted arrest, and so even though we have since revised our fire codes so that we no longer are going to pursue the initial charges, the charges of resisted arrest, they still remain. So we actually only need $1.5 million for that due to the reduced charges.
Hot dog.
Okay, yeah, we can manage that.
Yeah, I think so. I go ahead and set down the safe one.
Okay.
And open it up. Y'all take cash, right?
Oh, the deputy, he stands up and he like looks in the bag and he's just like, "Wow, I knew Rome was rich, but this is something." Yeah, the sheriff's just like, "Yeah, perfect. Do you guys need a receipt or?"
A receipt would probably be good.
Is it rude if I count this? Like I don't want to seem like backcountry hick doesn't trust the city boys coming in their fancy Roman airship, but so you start handing over money, and he kind of flips through one of the blocks and tosses it to the deputy. He goes, I think that's 100 bills. Can you check that real quick? And then he starts counting the blocks while the other guy flips through and checks, Okay, yeah, these are all the same bills. Okay, So they quickly. Are you counting this as you're handing them to them?
I mean, I assume that on the way over we at least figured out like how much. Yes, I'm making sure that I'm handing them exactly.
So you've given them 3/4 of the duffel bag.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, y'all are free to go. He writes you up a nice little receipt that says, he signs it. His signature isn't great. It clearly says, $1.5 million in bail money. Okay, so yeah, that's great. You guys are all free to go. Obviously, this is, your trial is next week, so you need to stay within city limits. But other than that, you're free to do whatever you like.
So we need to get a few of them somewhere else. Is there any way to pay a double bail?
The sheriff kind of looks at the deputy, and the deputy is just kind of like, yeah. And the sheriff kind of goes, "Well, I see that you brought 4 duffel bags, and by my count, you've got about $8 million total there. So I don't know if we could do double.
Well, it's a funny story there. See, we actually are doing some rounds. There's a few other folks who, are good Roman citizens.
The deputy just kind of grabs the sheriff and goes, they're trying, they're trying to see if we'll take the bribe. And the sheriff just kind of looks at him and goes, you know what? No, the bail is 1.5 million. We got a functioning justice system in this town. We got a courthouse. And you guys, one of the facades that was clearly just like a bunch of wood bolted to the side of the cliff earlier actually did say courthouse. So you're pretty sure he's not lying. They have some sort of courthouse. No. We do everything due process. It's all on the up and overboard. Indeed, yeah.
Would it be possible to do certain releasing people from the area on the recognizance of the folks who just paid their bail, and like for a work program?
So you're saying that you have some sort of orders about these people. He's kind of confused by this. It's like, do I need to call? Should I get the judge?
If we could talk to the judge, maybe
That would actually be a great idea.
Bump
Yeah.
some things up. Yeah.
Okay. He sends the deputy out, to get the judge, and he's, kind of like, flipping through. He like opens a filing cabinet. We stay real busy here. We do paperwork on all our cases.
I'm surprised. This town seems so pleasant. I can't imagine you have much of a crime problem.
Well, it's not crimes, so much as it's infractions. People, it's a new day. You can't just have towns, that are fortresses where people pillage and attack everybody. You have to have systems of control, and that respect all human life.
Not a human.
And all penguin life, and
Also not a human.
and all orc life,
I'm not actually a human either.
and all elf life.
I'm glad we got that settled.
Yeah, we actually teach elf defense classes.
Against or for?
Why not both? The deputy comes back in with the judge, and now that I'm just gonna expand. I'm assuming you guys aren't about to run up the mountain anytime soon. Yeah. So I'm just going to expand this grid to make it a little bit more like actual size for because it's big enough that it actually holds like 80 people. Like this is a pretty big space back here. And then like this room, we've got like one desk, another desk, filing cabinets. There's pictures of the sheriff and the deputy on the wall back here that were clearly taken like in the last few days. The judge is just like, well, boys, I gotta say, welcome to our little town. Welcome to our little hamlet. We're incorporated now, so everything's good there. What can I do for you?
Oh, well, Your Honor, we are trying to we've paid the bail for some people, and we want you to know that they really are good, honest, upstanding citizens who just made one mistake that, of course, got them in this situation in the first place. But I want you to know that they do not pose a flight risk. And what I'm asking is if we could maybe take these people to another location before their trial, if you could release them to the oversight of another jurisdiction. Since this is the sort of thing that like very official municipalities such as yours do have to deal with this mess of paperwork, with coordinating with other jurisdictions, and I'm sure that's something that you would be able to do for us.
Probably somewhere in the charter that you got when you were incorporated.
We got a charter. The judge actually points between the portraits of the sheriff and the deputy. He's like, oh yeah, we sent a copy to everybody. Everybody voted on it, and we signed it. It was a big to do. We had spaghetti that night. A big town event. But you know. So one thing I get a little bit hung up on here is you mentioned that these people are all citizens. Where exactly? What are they citizens of? Are you saying?
Well, I mean, you saw our airship outside, didn't you?
So these people who all reside in our city are being granted full Roman citizenship,
Well,
or have been somehow.
at the moment, there's currently a bit of a paperwork snafu.
However, I want you to understand something that you need to make clear. We're here on the orders of a certain someone who you could argue may be one of the biggest and proudest Roman citizens that you could possibly imagine. And she would be very, very, very happy if the citizenship that we're expecting of these fine folks were upheld by an official municipality out here.
You know, the judge is just kind of like gears are turning, he's like looking at you guys, he's looking at your clothes, you know, he kind of glances out the window at the ship. It's just like, well, you know, we were expecting some sort of visit, some sort of incognito inspection. This is a little different from, you know, exactly what we were anticipating.
Well, there's no need to be not on the up and up when you're an official municipality, right?
Well, you know, we're all hoping for Roman citizenship, but that's a process. You know, I know that right now a lot of people are clamoring for it, and there's a long list. But we're not like asking to jump the queue or anything. But you know, we want to make sure that we're not shuffled to the back either over any minor infractions. You know, in terms of.
Well, I assure you, if you are cooperative in this matter, I will see to it that everything in our power that can be done will be done.
We will definitely see your cooperation and willingness to work within the system for the good of everyone as a really good sign, and that really just it bumps up your status as someone who we really want to consider as a Roman citizen.
I scoop up the town charter off the wall and I'm just kind of reading through it while you guys talk.
So you see the town charter establishes that everyone gets to vote on whatever everyone thinks that they should vote on. That they have a fire department, a sheriff, a judge, a deputy to help the sheriff, a librarian. Child labor is expressly forbidden in this charter. Which you kind of are aware that Rome occasionally attacks places that employ child labor, and they free the children, and everybody else has a really bad day. So you know, it's pretty much the sort of boilerplate you would expect if somebody was trying to suck up to Rome. So, okay, so the judge just kind of thinks it over, and he's like, well, you know, if this is some sort of pilot program where Rome wants to extend, for some reason, citizenship to these people before the rest of us, could you clue me in a little bit about what those criteria are so that we can maybe otherwise improve the rest of our citizenry?
Well, it's a funny thing. See, it's somewhat on the down low. So
It's not that they're being considered ahead of you. We're considering everyone as a community. It's just that these people have specific work requests, and as representatives of your community are going to travel and basically fulfill work that is for the good of Rome.
Oh, okay. So this is a work release type program.
yes.
Okay. So, well, you know what? It doesn't make sense to move all these people off-site all the way back to Rome for a week and then to have the trial. So if you don't think it would be too irregular, I'm going to suggest that we push the trial date back about 3 months. We got some improvements we want to make to our courthouse anyway. So this will give us time to accommodate that. It was going to be very difficult to try all 85 of these people in the limited space we had, which you guys are pretty sure was about 3 centimeters between the facade and the sheer cliff face. So you know this is looking pretty good to him. How are you going to get all of these people to your site?
Well, we have space for some on the airship, and others...
We have packed lunches.
Others are going to take a longer route
Under the
along
custody
waterways.
of certain members of our delegation.
If you guys just go over the pass, we actually, we sell rafts. Well, they're normally rentals. We normally rent rafts in town for people to go take out on the river. But, if you wanted to purchase some of them, and then you could probably take most of those people down the creeks / to the river, and then get to Indianapolis pretty quick. You're with the current the whole way. So I'd wager whoever doesn't fit on your airship will probably get there only maybe a few days behind everybody else.
Okay, that sounds really excellent. Thank you for your cooperation, and I just want to say it has been a pleasure working this out with you.
Yes, indeed.
The judge is kind of like looking at the sheriff, and the sheriff is like, yeah, we got this. And the deputy is just like, he's just like kind of looking at the pile of money on his desk, and he's just kind of like, this is so much money. Like, I don't even know if it's worth trying to like take any off the top, because it's just... There's just so much. Like, so he's just paralyzed with awe and greed at once. The sheriff kind of motions to the deputy. He unlocks the door. The people inside here have been kind of like quietly watching what's going on. They look like they've been reasonably well fed, though. Or arguably anything that could be expected in terms of care of prisoners if an inspection were about to occur has been occurring. So they're all healthy. Doors open. What do you guys want to do?
All right.
So you guys have been remanded into our custody. We have a job for you.
They say, whatever, just get us out of here.
Right. So, that being said, Nita, if you want to go through this here list and get them down to the airship, as the agent of the state who is going to be leading the rest of these fine people to the work site, I probably don't need to be mixed up in that. Okay. And then I grab the duffel bag that still has $500K in it.
Okay, so you have all 4 duffel bags on your person now. So I'm assuming that you're just, as they come out, going to kind of sort them to who goes down the hill and who goes up the hill. The boat rental shop is actually in one of the highest points because you have to go over the mountain to get to where you would use them anyway. Yeah. Do you guys just want to take the cash out of the duffel bag for the boats?
That was my plan, yeah.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, you guys are in the free and clear. Do you want to do anything to screw it up before we close this out?
No,
Nope.
let's get
You guys did really well in this. There were a lot of opportunities for this to go very badly, and you did not fall into any
I do
of.
make sure to get receipts for all of the boats.
I was actually going to call you out on that next episode if you did not say that just now. You have actually like 100% gold starred this adventure.
Sorry, viewers, we didn't screw it up.
Yeah. So as you're leaving, everybody's like waving and like the judge is like walking with you as you take the people out and being like. So it's not causing a scene that there's 85 people all leaving the jail at once.
because they're obviously supervised.
The deputy is helping you get them into the boats and lead them over the mountain, and he's waving goodbye, and everybody's very, very happy. And as your airship takes off and clears the mountain range, so you're just nobody there can see you anymore. You see a Roman military airship that's been camouflaged as an ice cream airship truck. Basically, think of Think of an ice cream truck with a big blimp on the top, but like you can tell that they've painted over the Roman flags because it's still like the indentation of the old layers of paint is there.
Playing a public use song.
Yeah, and it's playing a happy ice cream song, and it's going in the opposite direction toward this town.
So, just as an aside, as we're floating down a river, and if y'all decide to build another remote mountain lair someday, maybe just, install an intercom and a buzz thing so that, someone has to have your permission to come in and doesn't just have to solve a bunch of riddles or whatever the heck y'all did with those keys.
Yeah. I mean, it was like that when we got there. A lot of art is about, reclaiming and stealing things that were already out there.
I'm just saying, like back at the University of York, we actually have, like that sort of thing on our dorms. I'm just saying, if they're willing to do that with like college students, maybe you guys could consider installing that on top of whatever else y'all have.
You're in the boat with a bunch of the artists at this point,
Yes.
right? One of them turns to you and goes, "Do you think we didn't go to college?"
Oh!
And that ends the old school puppet master. You guys have that was stellar. You are all now level 2. You have gained enough experience. You're level 2, and the next session will actually pick up about a week and a half from now. So if you guys have anything you need to do that takes time, you've got your normal paycheck, and you've gotten a week and a half to get some stuff done.